Hello, everybody. Welcome to SportsSkope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, on the most influential sports show in the country. Got a lot I want to talk about tonight. I want to, actually got a chance to see King Richard over the weekend. Was going to talk about it anyways. It's a sports movie, really motivational. Watched the Oscars just to see if Will Smith would win the Academy Award. And of course he did. And of course, I'll talk about the slap incident and everything as well, what the real reason is. And also talk about the Tyreek Hill trade, what the impact that's going to have. And man, Kansas City, looking deeper into that, I tell you, they're going to come out really well on this whole deal. Kyrie Irving's back. The Texas tornado, we talked about this last week. There was a video that went viral on the Texas tornado of a red truck getting moved around, looked like something out of Twister. Really good, feel-good story, good life analogies with that one. But first, the best coach in football that most would say in the history of football, is he on the hot seat? Listen to this. The owners' meetings were down in Florida. This is Robert Kraft today, and I'm going to play you a soundbite from Robert Kraft today. This is something you've heard first here, guys. This is what separates me from the rest. Hey, Mad New Yorker, this is Robert Kraft today talking about the Patriots' playoff win drought.
We had a great.
I'm out on it.
I think we had a great ball. And
Robert Kraft
back in person at the NFL meetings. I'll just say I'm a Patriot fan, big time, first, and more than anything, it bothers me that we haven't been able to win a playoff game in the last 3 years.
Okay, now he's getting really, really picky, spoiled, isn't he? We haven't won a playoff game in the last 3 years. Now, that is in the midst of some other news that broke yesterday afternoon with the New England Patriots. All right. Bill Belichick has announced that he is bringing in, check this out, folks, defensive coordinator Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, former Detroit Lions head coach and former New York Giants there, Mad New Yorker, head coach. They're going to come in and work on the offensive staff of the New England Patriots. Yes, that's right. Bill Belichick. Now, they're not going to be the coordinator, but they're going to work on the staff. That is Matt Patricia, former Lions head coach, Joe Judge, former Giants head coach. Both of these guys were coordinators. Patricia used to be the DC for the Patriots. Now he's going to work on the offensive side. Joe Judge as well, former special teams coach. And neither has worked that side of the ball. But that was on the same day. Remember, Josh McDaniels went over to the Raiders. Now he's the new head coach of the Raiders. So essentially, yes, this is a good idea to do. I'm so tired of hearing the term offensive-minded head coach and defensive-minded head coach. You're supposed to be a head coach. You are in charge of the entire team. I actually like that concept. I think more coaches should work 5 years as an offensive coordinator or an offensive assistant, quarterback coach or whatever, and then they should work 5 years as a defensive coordinator, defensive assistant. So they've got feels for both sides of the ball. Then those coaches should be eligible to be a head coach, even if it's just 3 years and 3 years. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that. So the idea is really good. However, we just heard what Robert Kraft said. Robert Kraft saying we haven't won a game in 3 years. Hopefully last year's draft was good. Hopefully this year's draft's going to be as good. These guys have $6 million in cap space. They haven't done nothing. They brought back Malcolm Butler, a player who retired and came back. he can be questionable to be washed up per se. And then you they let J.C. Jackson go, one of the better cornerbacks in the league. I do not agree with that move. They didn't really get better offensive weapons. Can you make the argument that they overspent last year? I know they overpaid for Jonnu Smith. Yes, Matt Judon kind of fell off towards the end. And now you're having Robert Kraft saying, we haven't won a playoff game in 3 years. Well, okay. Let's look at part 2 here of what I wrote down here. Miami. Buffalo's gotten Von Miller. Buffalo has beat this team 2 out of 3 times. The last playoff game, they end up getting blown out. Miami actually swept the New England Patriots, okay? So, and then and plus, they've only got $6 million in cap space. Over the cap's got them. They will jump up to 89 next year, and they'll jump up to 184 in 2024. Why does that make? For one thing, that opens it up for them to continue to build around Mac Jones. But is Robert Kraft going to lose his patience? He could, because next year, that's a good transition. Let's look at this Tyreek Hill trade. Let's look at what Miami's done. Okay, first of all, Miami has got an offensive-minded head coach, and plus they have spent all this money on Tyreek Hill in this trade to put him with Jalen Waddle. They're going to put. They've also got Teron Armstead. We talked about Mike Gesicki, the tight end there. He's on a franchise tag, coming off of a sweep. Prior to this, I just mentioned Buffalo with Von Miller. Thank God you've got the Jets there. This team might not even make the playoffs next year. And I'm just telling you the facts. I'm just telling you the facts here. I was telling my dad this the other day. You do not want to play this team in the first month of the season. You don't want to play this team in the first 5 weeks of the season, this Miami team. Okay? I think they overpaid for Tyreek Hill. And I'm going to give you the other side of it. Well, I think Kansas City, you can make an argument that they're going to win another Super Bowl now. That if they hit 50% on these draft picks, they're going to be able to revamp their roster from the defensive side. And I think they're fine offensively. They're going to be able to keep Orlando Brown. They're going to maintain this running game. They're going to be able to fulfill that major, and he's worth it, Patrick Mahomes contract. This guy's actually worth the money. You say, one way to look at this, you got a lot of starters on rookie contracts, or you got a quarterback on a rookie contract. Either way, you still have to fulfill that $208 million without going over. So I think that's pretty good. But going back to this Miami thing. So this team has got to play the Patriots twice. The Patriots haven't done nothing offensively. They're bringing in Matt Patricia, again, Pickles, if you missed this, and they're and Joe Judge to help out on the offensive side. Belichick's the best ever. I get it. But, man, I tell you, it's going to be a very interesting year. My personal opinion, I think Mac Jones will take another step. He will get better. But I think they're going to be on the outside looking in starting this season. I think they'll probably lose again, if not get swept again by Miami. I think Buffalo's a time and a half better team. They're in a really good cap situation this particular year with Josh Allen because he's only a $16 million cap hit. You think about Von Miller, Ken Dorsey, my guess is they're going to have a better running game up there in Buffalo. But again, And then you got to look at the AFC West. I haven't even mentioned the fact that Devontae Adams has been traded to the Raiders. You've got the Denver Broncos, probably a playoff team as well. And the Chargers. Look at this Charger team. They've got that much better with Khalil Mack. And then they've got a player from New England and J.C. Jackson. I mentioned the Tennessee Titans here out of Nashville. I know we have an extra playoff team as far as a wild card, but look how strong the West is this year. And now you go on. I didn't even mention the fact that the Cleveland has got Deshaun Watson. Cincinnati is going to be a powerhouse in the North. So where are they going to get? Oh yeah, and Matt New Yorker says the Patriots need to get O-line help. I didn't mention the fact that they've traded Shaq Mason to the Tampa Bay Bucks, and they let their center go. I want to say he's with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I will say this. Bill Belichick, he has been really good at replacing offensive linemen, and he's really good at finding running backs. Damian Williams, home run. Stevenson, home run. Kendrick Bourne, he's a wide receiver. I thought he was going to be their worst pickup. He's turned out to be a pleasant surprise. Wide receiver, San Francisco. I knew John O. Smith was overpaid. I'm just glad Tennessee got rid of him. Hunter Henry looked a little banged up at times. That's what he was when he got there. He's got good hands. I think he was fine. Nelson Aguilar, up and down. Keneal Harry, I can't believe he's still on the team. They can use another receiver because they don't have the most talented quarterback in the world. But they need to make some moves. I would try to talk in Robert Kraft into being more patient because I just don't see it. Now, I said this before and the Patriots end up winning, but I don't know. This is an interesting. So what if Bill Belichick becomes a free agent? I think he'll have takers everywhere, and Robert Kraft would look like an arrogant jerk. It's hard to find a Tom Brady, okay? That doesn't mean that your coach is bad, that you don't have a guy like Tom Brady, okay? This is one of the least penalized teams in the history of the game. Best halftime adjuster. Look at all the games. Look at the games they won over the last 2 years with their They had a true rookie quarterback last year. A lot of new players. And the year before that, beat much more talented teams than he's had to deal with. It's food for thought. If Bill Belichick got fired after this year, if they were like 7-10 or whatever, and say the Chargers don't make the playoffs again, I mean, they're going to be. Can you imagine Bill Belichick with Justin Herbert and that talent? You know, that's just something to think about. That's just something to think about. So let's look at that Tyreek Hill. So Tyreek Hill was traded for multiple picks, a first round. We talked about this Thursday. First round pick, second round pick. And now they have 12 picks. Kansas City has already signed Marquez Valdez-Scantling. That's another speedster. They already got Miko Hartman there. And mind you, they have their own first round. Let's take a look at this. They have 12 picks. And they're going to need it. I've got so much stuff on. Okay, check this out. So they got the 29th pick. This is Kansas City. You talk about this could be Herschel Walker 2 here, Pickles. Kansas City's got 29th pick. It's Miami. 30th pick. They get the 50th pick from Miami. 62nd pick. These are 4 picks in the top 62. They got a third round pick. They got a 94 for overall. They got a third round compensatory pick. That's 103rd overall. So they got 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds this year. And they got Miami's 4th round pick, their 4th round pick. And then they got a huge one from a huge trade, 7th round, the Rant trade. I don't know who that was, 7th round. And then another 7th round pick. And then that doesn't count the fact that they got these picks next year as well. I mean, that's just unbelievable. That is probably on paper better than the Herschel Walker trade. Okay? And I made some notes. You know, guys, wide receivers are just so blown. They look so great and flashy. I understand now that they are more of a need. I understand what Cincinnati did without an offensive line. I get all that. But they can be, it's mainly about the quarterback. They can be replaced. They are not irreplaceable. You can't find a Joe Burrow hardly. You can't find a Patrick Mahomes hardly. But you could find a speedy wide receiver. They've already got Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And I looked at some of these other great players. Tyreek Hill himself, a speedy guy. A speedy guy. 5th round pick, not a great route runner, folks. Okay? Devontae Adams signed for a fortune, also gave up a 1st round, 2nd round pick. He was a 2nd round pick. Cooper Kupp, the best overall statistical wide receiver, one of the best statistical years ever. Did he win the Super Bowl MVP? Cooper Kupp was a 3rd round pick for St. Louis, for the LA Rams. This past year, there was a player out of Detroit with two quarterbacks. Amon, and I told my dad about this guy late. He was a great fantasy player. Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's kind of, a guy sounds like an island, right? This guy had 90 catches for 900 yards for Detroit last year. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Kind of an odd name. 90 catches, 900 yards. This guy was a 4th round pick last year. You can find receivers in a draft. Don't do it. And I'm hearing this stuff about DK Metcalf. When I saw that hair on DK Metcalf, I'm thinking, no, this guy's starting to, I'm starting to read that he is one of these complainers about getting the ball and all that. He's looking like T.O. That is T.O. 2.0, 2022. I don't know if he's quite got that kind of T.O. type of attitude, but he's showing early signs of T.O. If they get DK Metcalf, yeah, he'll be good for about a year. Now, next year, he's going to want a lot of money. I would not do that. I would not, and I'm telling you now, if they do it, they do it. They'll be fine next year. But I would not get DK Metcalf. I would rather take a chance. Remember, they've got Juju Smith-Schuster. You've got Travis Kelce, best tight end in the game still. You got a good to better offensive line. You got a boatload of picks. They got 2 Ohio State players. One of them will get there. One of them will fall there. The 2 Ohio State guys, the London guy from USC, he'll probably be off the board. But they can go out and get these guys. If they wanted to, they could trade up and get one of these receivers. They could get Drake London out of USC. They could get, I know they could get the guy from Baylor, the one that ran that amazing speed from Baylor. He's going to be available. Jamison Williams from Alabama. He got hurt, but he should be fine. He'll be available. I would not go out and get DK Metcalf. I just don't see it. I wouldn't waste those picks. I would pick those players. And if I had to release some veteran that's making too much money, do that. I would build up my defense. I'd probably get a receiver, maybe 2 out of this draft. And I would look around for edge rushers. There's a guy out of Pickles, the edge rusher out of Georgia. He's skyrocketing up the draft boards. And that's what they need. They need as many Chris Joneses as they can get, So they come out like a bandit. And I'm thinking about maybe picking Kansas City in the next year or so to get back to the Super Bowl. Really. I mean, they were just a few plays away from coming back. And I just don't believe in teams that lose Super Bowls get back. And they were almost back, if you ask me. Again, Cooper Kupp, 3rd-round pick. Tyreek Hill, the guy they gave away from a fortune, 5th-round pick. All right? You could find these guys in the draft. My thing is, I might sign one receiver, but if he wants to be, air quote, highest paid, if he wants to break the bank in air quotes, send him packing. Same thing with running backs. 4 years, maybe 5th-year option, and send them back. The Georgia defensive guys, if you give a above average, and they're pretty much average. At times they played above average last year. They meaning the Kansas City Chiefs. I still like their coordinator. They can go pickles. They can go all defense this year and possibly get back to the Super Bowl. That's how big this draft. That's how big that trade was. Just go all defense. The Rams did it. The Rams did it a long time ago. When they went back to their 2nd Super Bowl post 99. They went all defense in the draft one year. And that's what I would do. If Frank Clark gets in trouble again, just build that defensive line, build up depth. Get Tyrann Mathieu still out there. You can get another safety. That's what I would do. The safety from Notre Dame, he's supposed to be a big-time player. If I'm one of these teams that like a Houston, and you give me a boatload of picks and you want to take Cal Hamilton from Notre Dame to replace Matthew, yeah, because Kansas City don't got that many holes. These draft picks are valuable. Now, if you blow the picks, you blow the picks. But it's pretty hard to blow that many picks. They're going to get some kind of gold out of this. They come out really well. I cannot believe Miami did that trade. Again, he'll have 2 or 3 200-yard games, and then you'll have other games he's not going to be there. It's just I would want to play him early. They're probably going to get to the playoffs, but he's not going to be worth $28 million. And I did read this today, and I said this in conversation in private. If you're going to pay this guy $28 million, he's going to get the Deebo Samuel treatment. He's going to get the Cordell Patterson run between the tackles, maybe even return some punts in some situations, so they may get afraid. He's going to get stuff out of the backfield. He's going to get in the rounds, his normal stuff. Anything in the route tree, but he's not the best route runner. That's the thing. He's not the best route runner. And Tua. And Tua, we'll see. We'll see how Tua works out. Now, they've got Bridgewater. He's a good fill-in guy. But there's a chance that they both could get hurt, right? Okay. Let's see if we have any more football stuff before I go into it. So, Detroit Lions are going to get for Hard Knocks, finally. And the new rule change, just a quick take on it. Overtime rules, I'm okay with it. This is just for overtime in the postseason. It's about 55%. Whoever gets the ball first in the regular season, it's about 55%. The team that gets the ball wins. In the postseason, it's like 85% because the quarterbacks are better. So it's 29-3 in favor. So the postseason, both teams will get a ball. So if you get the ball, scored a touchdown, the other team gets the ball, and you got to be able to stop the other team. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with teams. They did pass a rule where teams have to hire a minority and put them on put them in an offensive position no matter what. That's some of Roger Goodell's woke BS crap. But you know something? I don't even care. It's one of those things where the NFL's doing so well that Goodell can't screw it up with stuff like this. It'll be water under the bridge, you know. But anyway, switching gears, I was going to talk about this. I got about 5 minutes. I was going to talk about King Richard. Saw it over the weekend. It's a tennis movie, good motivational movie, best movie it's real close to Pursuit of Happiness. It's a really good movie, best movie I've seen of the year. About the Williams sisters with their dad, working with them in Compton, California. 3 other girls. His wife had 3 other girls by a different marriage. Small house in Compton, California. They both had Venus and Serena. And this guy went through Hades and hot water. But you know, I did a little background information check on Richard Williams. And you know what I really like about that is the fact that he had Richard Williams had some problems prior to marrying Serena and Venus's mother. He had some kids from his other marriage that said that he was a womanizer. So it goes to show you that you can make big mistakes in life and you can still pivot and become successful. You know, you could still lead your kids in the right direction. And I like that about the movie itself. But anyways, so let me talk about this Will Smith thing. All right. And this, let me look at my notes and make sure I've got everything. In life, folks, you get out what you put back. Everything you put out, you get back. You know, Will Smith, just a little bit of background on Will Smith for those of you who may not remember. This guy started off as a clean rapper, raised by his grandmother, didn't curse in his raps. And Eminem said out of Philadelphia, Eminem once said, Will Smith don't have to curse in his raps, but I do, and bleep him and bleep you too. You know, so he's one of those guys. And so real talented guy, really talented. Will Smith, so he gets this rap career, clean rapper, really good rap. I like Summertime, right? Came out in 91, late 80s, early 90s. Parlays that, you guys like that little gambling term, right? Parlays that into a successful TV show, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, mid-90s. That got successful. Then he parlays that into the movie industry. Think Independence Day, monster, mega success. Then people think, well, is he just a comic? Is he just a comedian? Is this can he do action star? Well, he does action star there. Then he gets into more serious roles. Pursuit of Happiness, 2006, plays Richard Gardner. True story there. Really touching movie. Nominated for Academy Award. So this guy is a world-class talent. Okay? Hold on for a second, guys. Let me restart my podcast. So, yeah. So he is a world-class talent. And Jada Pinkett Smith, he's a guy, good guy, Christian guy, whatever. Jada Pinkett Smith, not so much. Baltimore school of the arts. And she meets Tupac. When she meets Tupac, this is also late 80s, early 90s. And when she met Tupac when she was at the Baltimore School of Art, this is her word. She says, I was a drug dealer. She's like, I was getting out of that life. Tupac was leaning into that life. Okay. So she's kind of like the chick from the wrong side of the tracks. Some say opposites attract, right, Pickles? So they get together, and this is where things get off track. This is what leads up to that smack, okay? Then they get together, they get married, and they've had 2 kids. The kids are grown now. But then it comes out about this open marriage thing. And that was many reports, that she pushed that, where both of them can do their own thing. Okay. And then it becomes a closed marriage where they go back to just doing away with it. Then she reportedly cheats on him, has an affair, this young rapper guy, and she brings him on this tabletop podcast thing and publicly humiliates him. But he said she's trying to say, we're just getting our feelings out, yada, yada, yada. Meanwhile, guys like Chris Rock, comedians, other comedians, one, you name it, a female comedian took a shot at him too. They've been taking shots at him because he is, again, what I said about Eminem. Will Smith don't curse in his raps to sell albums, but I don't, but I do, so bleep him and bleep you too. The white rapper, Post Vanilla Ice, actually took a shot at him. So this is building up. This guy is not standing his ground with Jada Pinkett over years. These are years and years and years of buildup, of being made fun of, called soft, called a pushover. Chris Rock took a shot at Jada Pinkett in the 2016. It's just a friendly joke. Those Oscar awards about her wanting to boycott it because no black people get nominated enough. And he made a joke about that. A little off color, but it wasn't too bad. So all this has been building on this guy. He's been seen as being soft, and he's being seen as the guy that's being led by her. She's wearing the pants or whatever you want to call it, right? So that's the perception. But what he don't realize is this guy is a megastar. I was thinking about, how would I compare this to basketball? He's a Kobe Bryant of Hollywood. She's a Steve Kerr. She's a role player. She's played some movies, but she's not. This guy's a world-class talent. He's above what he did. But he's also an insecure guy. Someone call him a beta male. You know, that's a perception. And he even laughed at the joke. Okay? He laughed at the joke about the hair. Okay? Chris Rock didn't know she had that disease. Come on, man. He didn't know that. And he laughed at, and then there's a video of her saying that she was okay with the ball. She didn't care what people say. I just seen this today. So he laughed at the joke, and then she looks at him like, go fetch. What are you going to do? Go fetch. And everything that's been said over this guy's career about him being soft and being pushed over and stuff that she's made him do, but I blame him, not her, because he should have stepped his foot down, you know, and he lost it, you know, went up there and smacks the guy, Pickles, that is 5'8", 7, 140 pounds. People call that tough. This guy played Muhammad Ali in a movie. Will Smith is 6'2", 200 pounds, Pickles. 200 pounds. And he's going to smack a paid-for comedian that's paid to make jokes at the expense of the actors that are massive, you know. I don't call that tough at all. I call that being a bully. What he should have done is waited till a commercial break, said something to either one of Chris's people, one of the handlers, or he could have went up to the stage at a commercial break. Hey, man, she's got this hair loss disease. You're a little bit out of line. They come back. Chris Rock, I want to apologize to the Smith family. I didn't know. Much love. Let's keep it moving. Let's just keep it. That's all that had to happen. But in the meantime, this guy runs his own night. You know, so that's what it was. It was about him trying to prove to everybody that he is a tough guy, and he calls the shots in his family, and none of that's true. None of that. The truth of the matter is, not to be mean, I know they got 2 kids together. he should have walked away from her a long time ago. But opposite the track, I get it. I wouldn't have married Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm not going to be in an open relationship. I'm not going to sit there and let you humiliate me on your tabletop podcast thing and put up with that. But lost a lot of respect for Will Smith. And he knows he messed up. You know, beating up a small comedian, what is that? You know? But going back to King Richard, I digress. You know, Will Smith, what should he do? Go see a shrink. Go see a man shrink. Become a regular alpha male. Call the shots. Probably needs to move on. Probably won't. I would. But it's going to take a while for him to recoup from this. But I think he will because he's really talented and he sells tickets, right? So anyways, going back to the movie itself, you know what I really liked about it is the fact that people, it's relatable. The difficulty, going back to Richard Williams, of just going to practice, of having to deal with bullies, thugs harassing your teenage preteens. This guy had all 5 of those girls at the tennis courts. The other ones were just kind of laying around playing tennis. They wouldn't take it serious like the two Venus and Serena. And these guys jumped on. They said a comment, and he got multiple fights with these thugs harassing his daughters. Mr. Williams did, being an older man by himself. And one day it got so bad, he's got some injuries. He talks about ribs and stuff being broke, and he goes to get a gun. And this is how God, life, intervention kind of intervenes. He's going to take it up with these guys. He's doing everything he can because he's got a vision for these girls. He sees something special, and he's not going to let them stop it. And he got beat up so bad, he goes, it's a different story in the movie, but I heard the real story too. Very similar. Gets a shotgun, and he's going to go over there, and he's going to take as many out as he can. That's his words in his book. But he goes, and where these guys hang out, and one of them had already got shot. Pickles. In the movie, he's walking across the street. This guy works security, outworks security. He's got a security gun. He's going to go shoot the guy, and another guy does a drive-by and shoots him for him. It's like God just says, no. Because if he's in jail for murder, we don't know if Serena Williams and Venus Williams ever make it. We don't know that. He's a big part of it, man. You know, he's a big part of it. But it's a movie. It tells you what it takes to be successful, and that kind of dedication and having that tunnel vision. But you can do it in this country. You don't need a handout. You don't need that. Just have tunnel vision. Sacrifice the time. Make it fun. They were having fun. He joking around with them. He's coaching them. The time goes by fast. Mom's working 2 jobs. They come to a point where we're going to be a team working 2 jobs. He's staying with these girls. Pickles. They called they were working so hard that the neighbor called, said he's working those girls too hard. He's taking those girls out in the middle of the night when it's raining outside and playing tennis in the rain. I mean, that's just crazy. They were bragging. One girl won a tournament. I think it was Venus or somebody, beat a girl 4 years older than her, and the other girls are bragging. And he said, listen, stop that bragging. And they said something again, and then he let all the girls out to go get some candy and stuff from the store. And he starts to leave, and the wife is with him. And he drives about a half a block, and she makes him stop because he wanted to teach him a lesson. He wanted him to walk home. And the wife stopped him, and then the girls got out, and they walked up towards the van, this little Volkswagen van, like a 60s. And one of the little girls, I think it was Serena, Daddy, why do we have to come up here? And he said, well, I wanted to go home, but your mom wouldn't let me. I was wanting to teach y'all a lesson. But really hardcore, didn't take the first offer. He did not take the first offer. And I'm sorry, I'm spoiler alert. I'm sorry. But you guys read a lot of you read the story already. It's good to see the actual events and how it played. The little girls look just like Serena and Venus when they were young. And that level of focus, man. I mean, it was really touching. And I'm so disappointed in Bill Smith because of this incident, because he deserved that. He deserved the Academy Award. He deserved one in 2006 for Pursuit of Happiness, man. I mean, this was a great movie. Really touching, a tearjerker. And it worked out. He manifested this. Early on, he says, and I heard this live myself, when Venus was winning in the late 90s, 98, 99, she won her first major, and Serena was come up. He said, I think Serena's going to be better. I think Serena will be the greatest of all time. And I thought, man, he's got a lot of confidence in his kid. Why would he say that about one little girl over another, one of his daughters over another? Well, it turned out to be the truth. Serena probably is the greatest of all time. She is better than Venus. But Venus is one of the greatest too. But it's just amazing, the ability. And what really is interesting to me more than all is that this guy made mistakes in his previous marriage. But he recapped himself. He picked himself up. And he pushed that vision. He sold that vision on his wife, on them two girls. And they enjoyed it. They enjoyed spending the time. And they wanted to get out of Compton with 5 kids in a little bitty house. It's an amazing story. You know, only in America. Like Don King would say, right? Only in America. So anyways, again, talked about this tornado. This time last week, I started out the program. I said I saw these videos on the internet and everywhere, Twitter, whatever. Tornadoes everywhere. I saw one, Pickles, where tornado was people running in the parking lots of Walmart. Tornadoes touching down in the middle of the parking lot. People are running in there. One guy left his door open, his car, and ran in. And there was this other video that really went viral. Tornado chase is going straight. It's in Eglin, Texas. And tornado, you have to watch it about 3 or 4 times. Picks up a truck. Guy's trying to make a U-turn. Tornado comes up, sits down in the medium, picks the truck up, turns the truck in a 360 mode, dumps the truck on its side, picks the truck up back on its 4 wheels, and the truck is pointing straight in one direction, and the person hits the gas and drives off. Complete miracle. It looked like something out of Twister, Wizard of Oz, you name it. And a few days later, found out it's a 16-year-old kid. I've been that 16-year-old kid. He's wanting to go get a job. He's wanting to go get for a job interview. The best time to go get a job interview, Pickles, at a restaurant is 2 to 4 p.m. Well, the best time for a tornado, that your tornado experts will say, is in the afternoon, 2 to 4 p.m. He knew it was going to be horrible weather, and he wanted to get the job, so he just went anyways. I'll dodge it. I'll keep my windshield wipers. I'll be careful, yada, yada, yada. And when they interview him, which his name is, let me see if I can get this guy's name here. And it's just this red Silverado, Eglin, Texas, Riley Leon, 16 years old, 2004 Chevrolet Silverado, been in his family for years since his little sister was born. Dad made him buy the truck. That's something my dad would do. I saved up $1,000, bought my first car. He saved up money and worked as a 15-year-old and bought the truck, you know, from the family, kept it in the family. And he said the truck was pretty much run. He still drove it a little bit, but it was really messed up. This truck was tumbled. and flipped by a massive storm, a tornado. And I saw about 3 interviews of Riley, and one of them looks like he's about to cry out. The camera pulls back because he's more upset about the truck being messed up in the family. And when you watch this video and the interviews, Pickles, the comments are like, why don't they use this for a commercial? And people's like, Ford's tough, Chevy's tougher. And then one guy's like, man, my Dodge Durango, my Dodge Ram, I don't know if it's that strong. So it looked really good. And, a friend of mine sent me a story. A dealership out of Fort Worth saw the story, bought him a new Silverado. And then I read another story, Pickles. They give the family a check for $15,000. And in life, when you're doing the right thing and you're doing everything you can, and you feel like you've been wronged, often more times than not, you're in better shape than you were before the accident happened. He is in better shape today on the 29th than he was on the 22nd, or what was last Monday, the 21st. He's in better shape now. He's got a brand new truck, got $15,000. And I say it's when God winks. When you just give it you're just about to give up. When you felt like, because he was, man, really down about that. And I'm glad the guy's fine. You said, well, if he didn't leave, he wouldn't have had it messed up in the first place. Well, he was trying to do the right thing and get the job, He was trying to get a job. It's a poor kid. I've been that poor kid, But I'm saying, I take it a step further. This video is so unreal looking that you use that video in the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl had over 112 million viewers last year. You put that in a Chevrolet commercial, say, they're built tough, we're built tougher, Chevy Silverado, and it shows him just driving out the edge of it. Pay the guy that shot the video $1 million. Pay this kid $1 million. You'll sell $100 million Chevrolet trucks. Because people, the comments, the viral video, the news, everybody couldn't believe that he drove that truck after being flipped over like that many times by a tornado. It's like 200 mile per hour winds. On an average, 200 mile per hour sustained winds. Enough to pick that truck up and flip it like it's just a beer can, But that's what, if I'm in marketing, that's what I do, And if not, he's got a new truck. They got some money. People know his name. He says that his kids are calling him Tornado Boy. Riley Leon. Well, that could be another, he says kids never watch the weather. I never did pay any attention to it. I always try to, not unless it was snow or ice, But if it's a storm, I'll be all right, But he was like, yeah, don't go out in the storm no more. He was shook up about this. He was definitely shook up. But, in life, when your worst things happen, sometimes it's your best thing. So that's a great Super Bowl commercial. It's a great life lesson. And the same thing with the Richard Williams thing. He's just to the edge. He's going to kill these guys because they hurt him pretty bad. Beat him up in front of his daughters. And God's like, no, you've worked hard. Let me take care of these guys. Let karma take care of them. Good stuff. Okay. Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving can play home games. Mayor said he can play. People can't people have to be vaccinated to go back to work, but entertainers, basketball players, go figure. And, this. So what does this mean? Well, Brooklyn's an 8 seed, but they did lose to Charlotte. They're still getting their chemistry with Kyrie playing back in all these games. They're going to be an 8 seed. Likely they're going to have to play the 7th seed Charlotte in this play-in game. And I'll say this. They could win. Ben Simmons is supposed to be back. But again, like I've been saying on every show I go on talking about this, because people ask me about different teams. The lowest seed ever to win was 2000 or 1995, 94, 95, Houston Rockets, the 6th seed, the year of the OJ chase, right? Well, the Rockets end up beating the Knicks. Knicks should have won that series, but that's water under the bridge. The Rockets being a 6th seed, they won it. They could get the 7th seed. I think they can beat Cleveland with the healthy Ben Simmons. He might come back, he might not. But if you get him back for the playoffs, they got a chance with Durant. But it's chemistry. I'm guessing they're not going to do it. I just think Milwaukee's a better team. When everybody's clicking, Miami's probably better at this point. And then the West, Phoenix, now Chris Paul is going to be back. So I don't think they can win it. I think they're going to look at 2023, but their window's closing, man. And Pickle says the Lakers fell to 11th seed. LeBron, I don't think he played tonight. I called that one. We'll see how that one plays out. Memphis was 18-2 without Ja Morant. Now you got guys like Colin Cowherd saying Ja Morant's like John Wall, that he's not that good. He's just mad because the Ja Morant people like myself said Morant's going to be better than Zion Williamson, and then he was right. Brooklyn barely held on to beat Detroit in New York tonight. Yeah, Pickle says that. I knew they played Detroit tonight. It's defense. My guess is if they get put out in the first round, Steve Nash may be the fall guy. They'll probably get a defensive-minded head coach. They've already got offensive talent. Next year, they have a Ben Simmons. They'll possibly use Steve Nash as a fall guy. Go after a Mike Woodson type, not specifically Mike Woodson. Defensive guy. You've already got the talent there. They would be the favorite to win next year. But I think next year would be their last year because Durant's not getting any younger. And quite frankly, Kyrie, you can't depend on him that much. He don't play good defense. He's never played good defense. He could score, got a great crossover. Pickles calls him a cancer, and it's kind of hard to argue with him. It's really hard to combat that. So if you guys like the show, please share the show. I'm starting to get chapped lips here. All this talking I've done tonight. Go see. Forget about what Will Smith said. If you want some motivation, folks, watch King Richard. That is just tunnel vision. Don't worry about the violence going on around you. Just set your goals. Go right towards your goals. I love that. It was such a good movie. And I really feel bad that Will Smith run his own night. Denzel Washington said to him, in the middle of all that, he said he stopped. And I'm trying to see what he said here. It was really interesting. He said, in your highest moments, be careful. That is when the devil comes for you. He pulled him to a side and said, hey, man, get it. That was Denzel to Will Smith after the outburst and everything. After he had smacked Chris Rock. Interesting stuff. So have a good night, everybody. I will see you otherwise Tuesday, same time. If you get a chance, try the Max Show on Facebook or the Northeast Streaming Sports YouTube. I'll be on there 7:30 a.m. Central Time. Talk about this week in sports with Mac, Jack, and Jim Jeffcoat. I will share it on all my social media links. I come in around the 30-minute mark on Sundays, and we usually got some good topics there. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you next time here on Sports Scope.